Welcome to Are You Down with LPT? I'm Kyle Clarkson, and I'm here today with the Rob Bish.
The one and only Rob Bish. How are you guys doing?
Good, man. How are you doing?
Good.
Good. We were just talking about morning routines a little bit. You were reading or listening to, not reading, a new book, 5 a.m. or what's it called?
Yeah, so, I mean, pretty much before the meeting, we were kind of just touching what we do in the morning and kind of our routine. And I just picked up this new book called the 5 a.m. Club. Basically what it does, it has you get up in the morning and whether reflect, work out, set up for your goals for the day. Really good read. I would recommend it to anybody. Just kind of get into a system or cycle.
Yep. I was telling Rob, but like my favorite time of the day, I usually get up about 4:30, and I love my family, I love my wife, I love my kids, but no, your phone's not ringing, you're not getting emails, nothing. And that time from like 4:30 to 6:30, it's sweet. I got my cup of coffee, I catch up, and that's how I start my day. I love it.
It's the best way to get things caught up,
Yeah. All right. So, we want to hear a little bit about your business. One of the things we talk about often is, the 5 spokes, where our business comes from. And we understand that, agents, I could line up our top agents, they all do it a little differently. And one thing that I really love looking at your business on the marketing side is you've really done an amazing job building a brand. And when I think about LPT and what LPT is about, it's about individuals building their brand. And to me, you've been a good picture of that. So take me to your past first.
Okay.
Maybe even before real estate.
Well, long time ago.
Because you're not new here.
No. So I've been in real estate just under 3 decades. I'm on my 28th year on
3
this.
decades.
But no, I've been selling real estate, and I've had every viewpoint of whether it's new construction, relocation, multifamily, and everything like that. But one thing that I really struggled with in the beginning of my career is structure. So I never really had structure. It was more like, my pants are on fire.
Yeah.
I'm going to be chasing those deals. And I really struggled and suffered with following up with, keeping in relationship, front of mind, top of mind, and stuff like that. So that was my biggest concern. But probably 5 years ago, my CPA told me that I needed to get a business. And I think that was kind of the light bulb that came on, because now I wasn't just Rob Bish, the realtor. I was R.W. Bish Real Estate, and I became a business. And with that business, it's like, okay, now I've got accounts payable, accounts receivable, marketing, and stuff like that. And I've surrounded myself with a lot of younger generation that kind of know, the technology side of it. And started building a brand from that, and just let that grow. So now I'm an employee of my brand.
That's so huge. I can think of a time I was at a Tom Ferry conference. This might have been like 10 years ago, and I was listening to this guy talk, and he made the comment, he looks in the mirror every day, and he tells himself, this is not a hobby. It's not a freaking hobby. And it was the same mindset shift for me. Is you're waiting for the phone to ring, just kind of going willy-nilly, whatever. But until we start treating it like a business, if we treat it like a hobby, we're going to get paid like it's a hobby.
Absolutely, we're going to get paid. But not only getting paid. I mean, because at the end of the day, to me, the money isn't as important. I've always been driven on a service. And I think that's funny because, people say, well, I want to do $11 million in transactions. Well, you know what? I don't care about the transaction. I'm more of a volume. I'm more of a transactional. Whether you're buying a $50,000 house or a $500,000, I want to be a part of those people that are changing their lives. So that's more important to me, is a relationship.
Yeah, and that's awesome. Oftentimes we get into this business. Now, we still need to make money.
Sure you do.
But that's one of the beautiful things about real estate is and I see you post about, hey, 2-year anniversary and things like that, and you can get into more of that later. But like that relationship matters, and so appreciate that part. So what kind of maybe you talked about this, maybe you hit it, but led to focusing on that strong personal brand?
Well, when I think of branding, I think we were in a relation-driven business, and you might have 500 contacts in your phone, and they're 500 of your friends. People know, like, and trust you, but if they don't know what you do for a living, it's not they don't want to work with you; they just don't know to work with you.
Yep.
And I think my marketing department, the people that I surround me with, really helped me. Hey, be the standout, be the first in mind. You had said something that I do post anniversaries. You'll never really see me talking about myself in any of my posts. Mm-hmm. It's all about celebrating and celebrating the wins of your clients, of your friends, and your family. So, I just want to say, when you see my logo, when you see my name, it's like, oh yeah, that's Robin. He helped me do this, or he helped me solve this problem. So it's not really talking about me. It's more of the services that our Bish provided.
Yeah. You touched on this briefly, but you talked about your marketing department, and so it's probably looks a little different for all of us, and maybe you're going to get into that, and I'll jump into it here in a minute. But one of the things that we want to talk about is what are the key elements to make a real estate agent's brand stand out, and maybe some steps you took to establish that brand. So a marketing department is what brought that to mind to me. A lot of us might be our own marketing department, but that's not true for you, right?
So here's what I would tell any new agent or even seasoned agent that wanted to start a brand. You got to start with the why. The why are you doing it? And I'm not saying, well, I want to do X amount transaction. I mean, you want to peel that onion back. You really want to know, your services. And once you figure out the why of what you want to do, then you kind of break it down like, okay, this is the why, and here's how I'm going to approach it. Because if you're authentic with yourself and you're really looking in the mirror, like you said earlier, and it's not a business, you're looking in the mirror, you always can come back to that. That is the why. And it could be as simple like mine is my initials with a house logo in my R. Yeah. Very simple. It's not in your face, but people look at that and they keep looking at it like, oh, I just noticed that house, and so.
So you talked about your why there. I mean, is that what you were talking about, building relationships? Is there more to that why, or?
Building of the relationships is probably my biggest why. Yeah. But like I said, once I took Rob Bish out of the transaction and replaced it with the RB, I want my RB to be successful. I am the parent of the RB. I don't want to see my company fail. Just like, I think you're doing a great job, with the legacy, and you're making that grow. And I'm glad I'm part of that. But that is something that I hold, I hold my head up high about that, and I don't want to see somebody say, I don't care if somebody says, Rob is a pain in the butt. He's obnoxious. But when they say my company, I want them to be proud about that.
Yeah. And you obviously you're the face of that company, but one of the things that I love about you is, so oftentimes I talk about myself first, like, okay, here's what's going on, here are the transactions I'm going through, and it can become, okay, I'm checking off, I talk to this person, where one thing I see about you is like, hey, you're going to sit down and we're going to have a conversation, and it's not just, okay, I talk to them, check it off the list, but like, hey, you want to get to know people and, develop that. So I appreciate that about you, which probably brings me next question here. How important is authenticity in your personal brand, and any examples maybe that you'd share around that?
Honestly, I mean, I don't think anybody can go wrong with being completely authentic.
I know there's probably some people that can.
Well, yeah, you're right. But no, I mean, so like I catch myself. I hear new real estate agents. They're like, "Well, I'm gonna conquer the world. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that." And I think you need to surround yourself with your tribe. People that have the common interest, that they know, like, and trust you. It's funny is I tell my beautiful bride, I said, when we go to a concert and we're sitting there and we're in this huge auditorium or event center, and I'm like, look at section 101. She's like, what are you talking about? I'm watching the concert. No, I know, just look at section 101, just that little sliver. She said, okay. I said, that is a career in real estate. You don't need to know everybody in the building. If you just build on that little bitty wedge, it's not section 201, 301, that's just 101. And those are your people. Those are your cheerleaders. Those are your repeat business. I listened to another podcast, and it's the Real Estate Dude, and he always says, you have 500 people in your phone. 10 10% are maybe going to look and buy a house today, but all of them know somebody's going to buy a house. So why not have your cheerleader? You know, and I firmly believe in that. If you can just nurture that wedge, it's going to grow.
That is right on. I was texting with Jay last night, and he was talking about one of his goals for this year is he wanted to build a brand, and how does he build his brand? How does that brand grow? And I went back right there, like your people, right? Yeah. I mean, if you build your brand around your people, they know people, and it's just going to naturally grow. And so it's less about focusing on, hey, I'm going to market to the world, but market to your people, right? And that's what I think you've done an amazing job of. And
well, thank you.
I mean, you said it right there. So talk about social media, because obviously as a marketer, social media is a big part of that. But what's the strategy in your social media?
Well, I chuckle about that because, and Kyle, you're not a spring chicken either, but we've been around quite a while.
Yeah.
When we first got in real estate, it was like, hey, we're going to put an ad in the newspaper. We're going to do this, buy this house. And it was a very low-lying fruit. It touched a lot of people, but not a lot of call to action. I specialize, or I really, set my teeth in on Facebook. I'm older. I'm 53 years old. I know that there's, Instagram. There's other social media platforms out there. Snapchat or TikTok or whatever it is. Or MySpace. Was it MySpace?
MySpace, yeah. Your favorite song on there.
Absolutely. But no, I mean, so I really stay in the Facebook world. I think I'm going to try to venture out, down the road. But when you said the platforms and what do I do? So every Tuesday I have a meeting, and that is a marketing meeting, and it's not really working on getting business, it's working on my business.
Is this a meeting with yourself?
Well, me and my marketing guy.
Okay, all right, Jordan.
Jordan that helps me out, and it's nice to sit back and spitball ideas because he's a little bit younger than me.
Yep.
He sees things different than me. And he'll like, well, I think I like this. And I'm like, well, I don't like that. And he's like, but it's just a back and forth. And that's what we focus on. So this year in 2025, we really want to get into the Instagram, the shorts and stuff like that. Yeah. But it's
you do a lot of video. I don't know. Do you have a YouTube channel or is that something that's on?
I do have a YouTube channel.
Yep. So going off script here a little
You're
bit,
fine.
But I like what you said there. Every Tuesday, you have a meeting with your marketing guy. Now, again, not everybody's going to have a marketing guy.
No.
They may or they may not. But everyone should have a marketing meeting. And maybe it's with yourself, maybe it's with your marketing guy. But I think in your calendar, that better exists. That there's time that you are sitting down, and whether it's with a company or a person or just yourself, you're sitting down and saying, hey, here's what my marketing is going to look like for the week or month. Build out that marketing calendar. So there's probably a time to plan it. Yep. And two, there's probably a time that you're actually going to go and create it, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And so those things got to exist. So it's great to talk about like, hey, I'm going to do a bunch of marketing, but if it's not in your calendar, it doesn't exist. So
and also remember that there's been a lot of real estate agents that have done, they've already created the wheel. Mm-hmm. You can just redo what they're doing, just make it your own words. There's a lot of agents that I will basically do some homework on them, try to not emulate them, but I'm like, hey, I like what this agent's doing, or I don't like what this agent's doing, and I try to find the niche for me, the feel for me. But yeah, I think one of my, I don't want to say pluses because that's being very,
you can say
me. But I think one thing that really drives me is that meeting every week because it's like, hey, let's stop. What are we doing right? That's calling a call to action. What are we doing wrong? That's just a waste of time. But in today's world, it's so easy to do. We talked about videos. Years ago, it was like we had to get this computer, we had this production. It was VHS tapes. It wasn't, and you can take your phone right now and you can do a video, and it's high quality, and it's audio, and it's everything like that, and you can have a very real, authentic video about yourself, about your house that you're selling, about your buyer's needs. Just to stay out there. And it's so simple anymore. And that's what I wish I was 20 years younger because I wouldn't have a belly and I would know some of the technology. But I wish I was 20 years older too because I still like the relationships that when I got in real estate, you sat down at the kitchen table and you negotiated the offer and you talked. So that is a lost art, which I'm trying to bring that back. So it's kind of like I'm stuck right there into the new platforms and the old way of doing things.
My first deal I did, my dad made me sit down across the table, and I remember how nervous I was trying to present this offer. Haven't done that in a long time, but. So you got the equipment. You buy the new Meta glasses yet, or you gonna get those?
I've looked at them. I've had them in my hand.
I know. I know.
I need prescription glasses, so I don't know what that cost would be. But no, I've had a friend of mine that we went on a trip, and he had the Meta glasses, and he took some neat video.
Yeah.
So we were in New Zealand, so it was like, check this out. So
I told Alyssa and Natalina that I need those glasses. So yeah, that's on my to-do list.
Need or want?
Want.
Yeah, there
it's
you
want.
go. There
it's
you
want. Go. How has your personal brand help you attract clients and continue to grow your business?
Well, I mean, a perfect example is, so I live in the pool billiard community.
Yep.
I'm do a lot of advertising, sponsorship. Like last year, I sent the junior division from Des Moines down to Kansas or St. Louis for a national tournament. That was something that Arbish paid for because I think that's the next generation of pool. And it's funny is I'm sitting in Fairway and I'm getting groceries, and there's this 7-year-old kid with a shirt with my logo on, and obviously he shoots out of Urbandale, but his grandma lives in Ankeny. Yeah. I'm like, how'd you get that shirt?
Yeah.
He said, well, Arbish sponsored. I'm like, well, that's me. And the conversation just led to grandma. She lived in Ankeny. I did this. I didn't know this woman, for nothing. And now she's a cheerleader for me. And I got a listing out of her because of what I did with the kids.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like I'm looking for something, but it's kind of neat to see your logo running around,
I used to sponsor the fun run at my kids' schools, and so we did these little bags with all my stuff, and I'd see them at the basketball games running around. I don't know. I kind of...
It makes you feel good.
Yeah,
it really makes you feel good.
Yeah, yeah. So you think about, we got a lot of new agents, and a lot of agents maybe that haven't, dove into the marketing space. What are some simple, actionable steps agents can take to start strengthening their personal brand? I
would say the biggest thing is repetition. I mean, so, and I keep referring back to Jordan, and Jordan is a third, he has his own company. He doesn't work for me, but I hire him. But, he's always like, you need to have your logo in all your posts. You need to have, because that is going to that causes the avalanche. That is the repeat, same picture. We can change it up every once in a while. They just need to see that over and over again. And that would be the simplest thing to do. Yep. And yeah. One of the things I liked that you said a minute ago, but you're talking about the pool space, billiards, and you are passionate about that, and you've invested in that. And so when I think of people putting marketing into where they're living, and so for me, my kids were at that elementary school. I'm like, this is natural, right? Mm-hmm. My kids go there. I build relationships there. For you, it was natural because you spent a lot of time there. Absolutely. And you live there. And so to reinvest in that where you're a part of that is huge. And so I think from a marketing standpoint, like, it's great we can send postcards out and do all these things, but if you're not involved with where you're marketing at, I think it can probably fall flat. Yeah, you're just spraying and praying. Yeah. I mean, you're just throwing good money to bad situations, I mean, and you're hoping that one transaction will come back. But, if you do something, whether it is, I mean, we got a real estate agent here that's into cars. You got people that, so whatever you're passionate about, you're going to want to be in that world. Mm-hmm. So it really doesn't matter what you do for a living as long as they know what you do, because you're going to be there anyway. Yeah. I do a lot of hunting. Some people don't like hunters, and I'm fine with that. I don't need to work with everybody. But, my father passed away, and I told myself that, we were always talking about going on trips together, and we never got to experience that. And I told myself that I'm going to see things because it's for me, because this is one ride that we do, and once the ride's over,
It's over.
It's over. You know, so I've been to Newfoundland on a moose hunt. I've been to South Africa, you know, on another one. I've been to New Zealand. I'm going to Hawaii. I mean, I'm just doing things that I'm passionate about, and I'm bringing along people with me that are friends, and I'm having experiences. Yeah. You know, we talked about earlier about money. Yes, money is very important, but your time is more important. Yeah. You can always make more money. You can't make more time. Yeah. And I think it took me 22 years in the real estate business and having my parents and saying, oh, you know, tomorrow's always going to be there. We don't know that. Yeah. We don't know that. So that's what I really love about, you know, stepping back, being part of the RBish type thing.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, for
better. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer.
No, that's amazing. I think, you know, our past experiences can really dictate our life. And I think other people, as they listen to this and hear your story, hopefully they're, you know, challenged to remember that, you know, we only have a set amount of time, and to go out and live that life, right?
And enjoy it. Enjoy it. You know, and like, you know, God gave us 2 eyes and 2 ears and 1 mouth. So just listen and listen and watch and then speak. Yeah. Just half. Yeah. Just half.
So obviously we partnered with LPT here, and one of the things I love about LPT is they're about a agent. You build your brand. That's their philosophy. You know, how has that philosophy influenced the way you approach branding?
Oh, gosh. You know, I mean, how much time do you have? I mean, so I've been with several different, you know, traditional brokerages in my career. And there's a fit for everybody. There's not a better broker or a worse broker. I mean, there's a fit for everybody. I'm not going to say that there's any bad broker out there. Yeah. But with LPT and Legacy and yourself, really kind of gives you an opportunity to be yourself. I mean, yes, there are guidelines and you know, compliances and stuff like that you've got to. But as far as LPT, you know, like my real estate signs are different than yours. Yep. I mean, we're under the same umbrella. Yep. You know, and it's not that I want to be, but I want to be different. I want to be like, because I'm like that electric blue or whatever. Yeah. I just like that because I have blue eyes. Everything blue's my color.
It's your color. You look good in blue.
You know, that's the only color I'm in. And a periwinkle. But no, like I said, LPT is just kind of given an opportunity for me to really, you know, embrace it and say, hey, I want to do this. Now, obviously, I got to reach out to my broker and make sure that I'm within the guidelines. Mm-hmm. But if I get the okay or the thumbs up, I'm going forward with it. Yeah. You know, and I think the freedom that we get here at LPT and Legacy is amazing. And I think you're going to see people follow. Yeah. I think.
That's one of the things I love. It's one of the things that drew me there is it's not about the brand. It's about you, our Bish, is the brand, right? Yeah. And the ability to be able to market that. If you, we'll just 2 more questions here for you. And
You're fine.
We'll kind of close it up. But if you had to sum up your branding philosophy in 1 sentence, what would that be?
In 1 sentence.
Well, it can be more than 1 sentence, I guess.
I guess I don't know. I mean, just hopefully when people see my brand, they know that I'm original. Yeah. I mean, genuine.
Yeah. Genuine, personable. I mean, right? I mean, you're about relationship in there.
Yeah, that's really at the end of the day, that's what I want to be. Yeah. I want to make people laugh, smile.
Well, you do a good job of that. We appreciate it.
Because I'm a clown.
You've been a good voice for our company for sure, so we appreciate you. If people want to connect with you, where would they do that?
Well, I mean, you can go on to YouTube. RobBishRealtor.com is my website. You can see any of my videos, my past videos. From my listings to the blooper reel.
I love the bloopers. I was just going to say something.
Yeah, my blooper reel really got a lot of push behind it. So that's the real Rob. And I think my Jordan Miller, he's the one that edited everything. He just had a big kick out of it. Yeah. He's like, this is going to be tough. But once he got in there, he's like, man, this was easy. It's easy because I've been told by Mike Pace, one time years ago that I had a face for radio. Yeah. So I didn't know what that meant until I got in my car. Yeah. So.
Well, Rob, hey, appreciate it. We'll do it again. And just thank you for all you're doing, both our company and in the real estate community.
Absolutely. I appreciate you guys.